Good evening everyone and welcome to Newsreel 2004.
Yes, all year round our reporters have been out and about filming activities and events all round Burnley.
We've had an Easter parade at Thompson Park, also the Reach 2 Festival at Queen's Park.
Litter cleaning by Kibble Bank Action Group, Clocktower Mill demolition and Cliviger versus Barcelona.
But we start our programme tonight way back in October 2003 with the dedication of the bells at St. Peter's.
In the summer and autumn of 1803, a peal of 8 bells, cast at Thomas Mere's foundry in Whitechapel, London, was installed in the tower of St. Peter's Church. As a bicentenary celebration, in October 2003, in the cramped conditions of the bell tower, 2 new bells, cast by tailors of Loughborough, were installed. This meant moving some of the original bells to accommodate the new peal of 10. This, as you can tell, is one of the original bells. And there are the 2 new ones. As an additional celebration, a flower festival was organised. Throughout the church, there were displays representing many facets of the life of the church and the town, presented mainly by members of the Burnley Flower Club and the ladies of the St. Peter's Flower Guild. During the Saturday, the day before the dedication service, members of the Blackburn branch of the Lancashire Association of Change Ringers were attempting to ring a special peal, exactly the same as that rung in 1803. It was expected to take about 3 hours. Underneath the bell tower, in the new Heritage Centre, is an exhibition telling the story of how Burnley was established and developed over the years. One of the visitors was privileged enough to be allowed to play the new organ. Saturday's ringing completed, the bells were upturned, to be rung after the dedication service the following day, but this time not a peal of 8 bells, but of 10. A party of about 40 French visitors from our twin town Vitry visited Burnley at the end of October. After a few days sightseeing and reminiscing, before returning to France, they had a special appointment with the Burnley Twinning Committee.
Madame Mayor, Madame Mayoress, Monsieur le Maire, Madame Audebert, Monsieur Courtier, ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here this morning to pay tribute to a very special lady who was held in such high esteem and had a place in our hearts on both sides of the channel.
Everything was translated into French.
Sheila worked so hard in trying to re-establish the official twinning links and was our diplomat for Entente Cordiale on both sides of the channel. In fact, I think her spirit is here today because she will be absolutely delighted to see both our mayors here on this occasion. Eventually she succeeded, and in 1995 we signed a new charter with Vitry and the Place de Vitry Sur-Seine was put in place. Sheila continued as our chairman of Burnley's twinning group until she became ill at the beginning of this year and subsequently died in May, 5 months ago. She may be gone, but she will never ever be forgotten because she touched the hearts of so many people in this life. She had a wonderful sense of humour and her enthusiasm was always infectious. That is the reason that both twinning associations decided that there should be a joint memorial to Sheila from all of us. It is fitting then that this bench, where it is placed, will allow anyone who sits on it to look at Place de Vitry and remember. We hope that Charles, Michael, Susan, Calvin and their families will take solace in this memorial from her friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, je veux ici vous apporter le témoignage de toute l'estime que notre ville avait de Sheila Harris. Prendre un bon siège politique, c'est fait pour se mouiller.
The biggest smile of all, and if we go now.
Okay, and just straight at me you can.
After the simple ceremony, there were final goodbyes.
Yes, thank you.
Then it was off for the bus and home to Vitry. October 31st, and Queen's Park is decked in its autumn glory. In the park, a group of young people from the Prince's Trust have been busy sprucing up the old pavilion. And we're lucky to have Sam, a talented artist, to show off her skills. Some were busy preparing refreshments for visitors and were rather nervously waiting for the arrival of the mayor, who was to officially open the pavilion.
Not a good reader.
Paper's matter.
Babe.
My name's Danny, 17 years of age. Come on this course because I want to get somewhere in life. I started this course 4 weeks ago. Since I started this course, there's been a big change in myself, such as my attitude towards others and my attendance has improved. 3 weeks ago we looked at many possible projects. We chose this one because it would test us as a team, and it was a complicated job. As a team, we contacted many firms, and I can't do it.
You're doing well.
We were pleased to receive donations of paints and many tools which have helped us to finish the job that was set. I hope everyone who uses the pavilion likes it and looks after the work that we have done. I'd like to ask the Mayor to officially open and put the ribbon.
Congratulations on the completion of a very successful project today. You've done a tremendous job, and it's a pleasure to be invited here for the handover and share your success. You've not only developed your own personal skills, it's also made a positive and lasting impact on the community. And I want to say that I am very proud of all you have achieved and wish you all every success for the future. Now come here with me and help me to cut the ribbon because you did very well there. Come on, we'll declare that you are open.
The Prince's Trust is run mainly by the police and fire services, and regular courses are organised to help young people with their social skills, filling in job application forms, interview techniques, and so on.
On behalf of the Friends of Thompson and Queen's Park, I'd like to thank you all very much for doing what you've done. I mean, when we first saw this, not so many weeks ago, it was all right, but it was lacking. And now I think it's brightened up, lovely, and I only wish I could draw as good as this. And I'd like to say thanks to Sam especially because she's worked really hard to get these things right. But everyone's worked hard from right at the top down to the bottom. But thank you all. Thank you.
Each group also has to choose a project on which they work together and complete in a given time. And we're keen to show the Mayor around and explain to her how they prepared for this project.
That's what it looked like before we started.
But worse than that, didn't it?
Yeah. You got the clean bits there.
Yeah.
There's the donation.
That's good to have them, yeah.
They use these as evidence in the logbooks. There we are now.
Come on, the most gorgeous boy in the world. That's decorating ideas.
Yeah.
This is the colours. Lots of blue.
And have you enjoyed doing it?
Yeah.
You look as if you have, yeah.
Although the young people were nervous, and for some of them it was an ordeal, but I'm sure that looking back, they'll realise that they had enjoyed their day. On the National Radio News on the morning of November 12th, we were warned that Todmorden Road and Parliament Street in Burnley were closed because of a fire. A semi-conscious 80-year-old pensioner was rescued from her blazing home by police and firemen before it became a fireball. For their own safety, 30 neighbours had to be evacuated from their homes. The house was packed from floor to ceiling with plastic bags full of newspapers, magazines and bric-a-brac. 3 skips were required to clear away all the debris and the rubbish. Although there were a few items that were able to be rescued. But like all disasters, it gave the neighbours something to talk about. It's January 2004 and Sandygate is close to traffic. At last, we're seeing the final demise of one of the town's oldest landmarks, Clocktower Mill. Built in 1840, for many years it was the home of John Watts cotton waste processors, and in 1860 it housed the first of Burnley's public clocks. But the tower was demolished in 1987. Since then, fires and vandalism have taken their toll and put paid to expensive development plans for flats, shops, offices and a conference centre. The final nail in the coffin came in 1998 when arsonists set fire to the building, seriously damaging the roof, leaving it a hazardous eyesore for several years. The chimney was the last to go, bringing a rather undignified end to the old landmark. The site is now cleared and levelled and ready for development. For what purpose? We'll just have to wait and see.
Hello and welcome to Offshoots. My name is Phil Dewhurst and I have the good fortune to manage this beautiful permaculture garden. We're here to demonstrate the principles of permaculture to the people of Burnley in order to encourage them to think about alternative ways of doing things that are environmentally friendly and that is really what permaculture stands for. The word itself is an amalgamation of the words permanent and agriculture. Permaculture is about the sustainability of our future activities, locally and globally. Offshoots was set up originally by a small group of determined volunteers who were committed to the idea of demonstrating the principles of sustainability. So as a consequence, we grow everything here organically, using our own compost, which we manufacture from kitchen waste, and we're collecting that from across the town. We also have renewable energy systems operating on solar and wind turbine power. We're also working in close partnership with the local authority Woodland officer, managing in a permaculture way the 27 acres of woodland that surround our site here. We harvest the timber as required and burn it into charcoal in our kiln, which we have here on site. We also demonstrate water purification techniques using a reed bed system. You'll notice on site that there are also a number of eco-friendly buildings. I'm sat here on the bridge leading to our Walter Seagull cabin, which is made from reclaimed timber and dry jointing techniques and doesn't incorporate any polluting materials. We also have on site a cob building which incorporates a bread oven which we use from time to time to bake bread and pizzas and other foodstuffs. And we also have a straw bale compost toilet that we've recently finished. Here we are building a backyard in order to show people without gardens what can be achieved when growing foodstuffs and ornamental plants within their own living space. So as you can see, we embrace all aspects of sustainable living here on site. In order to promote that, we work closely with the local authority and other institutions like Burnley College and Myscore College, who are our interlinked partners. We also work with all the schools in the area, and we bring them here and give them the tools and the necessary information and skills to help them get involved and to help them develop their knowledge of sustainable lifestyle techniques. Over the last year, we've dramatically accelerated our development, and recently we started the installation of new gate posts which are made from oak trees felled within the grounds here at Townley. We also have a thriving tree nursery which is here to provide trees for planting across the town, thus ensuring tree cover which remains stable. We are here at Offshoots for the people of the town. Our aim is to actively encourage each and everyone in Burnley and the surrounding areas to visit, explore and get involved in the running of the site. As a first step, pay us a visit and see for yourselves what can be and is being achieved.
Unfortunately, it wasn't a morning like this, but a very cold January morning, when two large cranes arrived on Rossendale Road to raise the first of 4 towers for the new extension to the Vika plastics factory. Next to the old Lucas Works, it will link up with the Billington Road factory of Burnley's biggest employer.
I believe so, yeah. But if they're not in right place, yeah. Where did he get it? Looking through some of that.
Look 3 months ahead, and the structure has completely changed. It's now ready for the final corners to be put in place. A precision job, so I was told, as each of the 4 legs has to be located on pegs already in the ground. The very complicated looking building will be a state-of-the-art distribution and logistics centre for the PVC manufacturers. Simple cladding now covers the interior, and it's difficult to believe what's hidden behind there. But as the saying goes, seeing is believing.
These little ones. You can't have gloves in port, you can't have gloves in a picker. Because there's some little ones here won't want picker. Come on, have a pick in that road, eh? That glove's too big for you.
A couple of weeks ago, all agencies, we had a meeting at the centre to discuss ways of helping to reduce problems with related to juveniles. Councillor Paul O'Reilly had the idea of a local litter pick, and one of the youngsters decided to call it the Kibble Clean-Up Day.
Pick all rubbish up you can find, the skip's over there, and you might be in, the one with the most bags might be in for a surprise. The most you pick up, the better it is.
I can't get it out. Got it. I've only just got it.
Dirty smoke.
Like my grandma, she smoked. And she took some that floor.
Does she? I do not.
And sometimes, you know, you put it.
I'd like to thank all the youngsters who took part. I know the group who were working with me have done a good job. I think they collected about 5 bags of rubbish around the estate today, so they've done very well.
Looking at the camera for me.
On the 27th of March, in order to celebrate its 75th anniversary, the Burnley Garrick Club held a dinner dance at Nelson House. It was founded in 1929 at the Phoenix Theatre over the Newmarket Hotel. The redevelopment of the market area forced them to move, initially to the Cooperative Assembly Rooms, before finally moving to the newly refurbished Mechanics.
We're celebrating tonight 75 years of Garrick Productions. To do 6 plays in something like 9 months with 4 to 5 weeks in between each play is to ask at every play and every function that I can possibly be at to appeal for more help. Today it's different. Our young people have jobs where they may be here one day and away the next. They come to us at 16 and by university time they're gone forever. Thank you.
In order to ensure continued success, new faces are needed, both for on stage and particularly behind the scenes, making scenery and costume. Rehearsals and scenery production are in the facility at Hadgate Chapel, where all are welcome.
You're a completely feminine little creature, aren't you?
Did you say that?
Everything in its place.
What do you mean?
Well, yes, just to a beautiful sort of little digs.
Yes.
You know, and she will not get off the damn subject of Amanda. She will not.
You and I here alone together, married.
That's very rough. Don't you like it?
Yes. I've just done it.
The Clarets have had a number of highlights over the years, but have they ever hosted the mighty Barcelona? Well, the village of Cliviger have. Well, not quite Barcelona, but they have played host to Els Inglesos, the Spanish side from Bargonia, which is near Barcelona. On Sunday, April the 4th this year, Carl Horrocks, who is from Cliviger but works in Spain, brought Els Inglesos over to Cliviger to play the Kettledrum football team. The match started with both sides keen to do well, but it was the Kettledrum who created the best chances. The Kettledrum certainly settled down the better of the two teams, with some very near misses. The unfortunate state of the pitch made it difficult for either side to play to their best, and I'm sure the Spanish side were not used to these conditions, and it wasn't long before the Kettledrum's chances turned into goals. By half-time, the Kettledrum were leading by 3-0, but everyone was in high spirits. It was most certainly the occasion that would be the winner of this game, and not the number of goals. We spoke to Mark Knight, chairman of the Kettledrum side, and asked him how the match came to be.
Well, basically what happened was we've had contact with the Spanish through a guy called Carl Horrocks, who teaches English in a Spanish school over in Barcelona. So he's the brother of a member of our team, so that's how it all basically came about. And said they were coming over for a weekend in Manchester, and that's when it was conceived. Basically, the cup's been donated by WBM Pipelines, who is a local company, and they sponsor the Burnley and District Sunday Football League, which we play in. So they were the obvious sponsor of some sort of trophy. Back there, yeah, we aim to go back probably June or July, and we'll take a squad of about 15 out there for the weekend. We're finding the pitch a little bit different, yeah. I mean, the pitch is certainly cut up very badly, and but they're all having a good crack. We met them at the Kettledrum pub this morning for tea and toast before the match, and everybody was in good spirits, and we're taking them back there for pie and peas after.
We then spoke to Charles Briggs, who's managing director of WBM Pipelines, who sponsored the match.
Well, the Burnley League, Sunday League approached me and asked me to sponsor the game, which I was going to do through my company. But about five weeks ago, my father passed away, and I decided then to name the cup after himself. Yes, it is. It's the Harry Briggs Memorial Challenge Trophy. I hope it's going to be an annual event. It's been a fantastic afternoon, you know, so I do hope it is going to be an annual event. obviously somebody's going to have to talk to Sunday League and what have you. So I think it'll happen.
The second half went much the same as the first, but I do think the Spanish side should have had a free kick on Kettledrum's goal line for a pass back to the goalie, but no one seemed to notice, certainly not the referee. The match finished with Kettledrum winning by 4-0, but the event was the real winner. Everyone enjoyed themselves and are now looking forward to the return match in Spain.
Just a round of applause for these lads for coming.
Els Inglesos Football Club were formed in 1980 in a town called Borgoña near Torelló, which is 35 miles north of Barcelona. They play in a league called Aficionats, meaning amateurs, winning the league twice and reaching the semi-final of their cup once. As with Kettledrum FC, they too have their post-match watering hole, called El Bolet, which means the mushroom, and presumably is where they enjoy a pint and a plate of paella. Chris Tennant received the Harry Briggs Memorial Challenge Trophy and everyone returned to the Kettledrum pub for pie and peas. Easter Sunday this year was quite a hectic day for our Mayor and Mayoress. Thompson's Park was the venue for the Easter Bonnet Parade. That'll be the usual photograph for the newspapers. But first was the annual Easter egg hunt. The weather was warm and sunny, as mums and dads were taken around the park by scores of youngsters in search for clues that would lead them to the bounty. Plenty of other activities were on hand to keep everybody entertained, including the Burnley and Pendle Miniature Railway Society. They were kept busy for most of the day. It was then time for the dignitaries to move over to the Italian Gardens, where the Easter Bonnet Parade would take place. The contestants were paraded in front of a fairly big crowd. The job of judging the bonnets certainly didn't seem to be an easy task. All deliberations over, it was now time to make decisions.
The winner is number 6.
After the bonnet parade, the egg hunt competition winners were announced.
In traditional way, we'll start with third prize first, but before I do that, a few statistics. There was 36 teams entered today, which is excellent, a full complement, and it's a really good turnout. With 87 children taking part, so that's brilliant. Plus the parents, that's nearly 200 people came home today for the egg hunt. So third prize goes to the Cox family, who come with 4 children in 38 minutes to complete every question. In second place, with 35 minutes, which is very fast, we've got Lorraine Ditchfield and her family with 3 children. And finally, first prize goes to the Taylor family with 5 children. Are they in the house? Their winning time was 32 minutes and all questions correct.
A great day was had by all. It was a good start to our 2004 summer.
Sunday the 6th of June, a service of thanksgiving was held at the War Memorial Cross Street on the 60th anniversary of the D-Day landings and the start of the Normandy campaign. It was conducted by Canon Tom Bill, the rector of Burnley Parish Church of St Peter and chaplain of the Royal British Legion Burnley branch.
And a very warm welcome this afternoon to this very special service, the remembrance and thanksgiving for D-Day. It's a very poignant occasion as we gather here in our town centre, in union with many other towns throughout our country and on the beaches of France and elsewhere. We're united in our memories and our thoughts. We begin our service with the hymn, O God, our help in ages past. Had this question a few weeks ago as part of its weekend quiz. What do the following words have in common? Sword, Juno, Omaha, Utah. You do not need to be told the answer. You, who were so intimately involved in the D-Day landings on June the 6th, 1944, know these were the code names for the Normandy beaches where the landings took place.
As weeds at our left grow old, age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
God grant to the living grace, to the departed rest, to the Church, the Queen, the Commonwealth, and to all people peace and concord, and to us and all his servants life everlasting. And the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be among you now and remain with you always. Amen.
On the 8th of July, the Burnley area welcomed a royal visitor. Following an engagement at Clitheroe Royal Grammar School, Prince Andrew visited Spring Mill at Fence to present the Queen's Award for Enterprise to fabric manufacturers Panaz.
That's 40 minutes.
About half an hour.
Well-wishers patiently awaited his overdue arrival, and they were delighted when he jokingly dashed over to the front door of the local hairdressers before formally meeting his hosts. He could have done with a quick trim too. After lunching at Fence, the Duke of York took a short trip down the bypass to Padiham, to the premises of Equestrian Surfaces in Station Road, where more well-wishers had assembled in the cold wind and drizzle. Schedule, he hurried to meet the Mayor of Burnley, Councillor Margaret Lishman, before being introduced to the management and staff. The company makes riding surfaces for equestrian events. The royal visitor congratulated them on their export achievements. Before leaving to board his helicopter at Gawthorpe, he enjoyed a quick meet and greet with local residents.
Come over here,
and was especially concerned for the four little princesses who waited more than an hour to see him.
You've been waiting a while.
You've been waiting, have you? Are you on holiday?
Yeah.
No?
Yes, you are.
Where are your parents?
They're all here.
Don't you think you ought to be sort of wrapping them up? It's far too cold around here. Anyway, nice to see you.
Welcome back to Paiton, Andrew.
Thank you very much.
Stop copying.
Was he not with them?
Kind enough to explain to us what exactly this weekend is all about.
Well, Songs for Christie's started a year or two ago. It was an idea that I and a few friends had to raise cash for Christie's. We're all keen singers, and we thought that we put our limited singing talent to good use by doing something with it and having a good time at the same time. So we decided to get together and organise a few charity events. All the funds that we raise go direct to Christie's. We take nothing out at all. And the first event was at Stretford on at the start of January this year, and we raised £1,528. Then we went on and held a shopping centre event at Bolton and raised £1,263. Then we raised £2,093 at Preston a month ago, and today, July the 24th, we're here in Burnley hoping to even beat that total. But it was a heck of a good total at Preston, it'll be hard to beat.
They paid farmers to get out. The village were going to pollute water, so they kicked them out, and they just flattened it all and covered it up. But we sort of restored foundations and whatnot. This stone yard. I used to drive past here, and I used to see all these things from Highways Department, as I thought they were, and it was just a load of rubbish. And now, oh, it's looking a bit better, isn't it?
The appearance of Arkansas in Townley Park seemed like something out of a fairy tale, resembling a Middle Eastern bazaar. Arkansas is a unique inflatable sculpture called a luminarium, designed by architects of air. Inside, it is a maze of tunnels, passageways and domed spaces, flooded with brilliant light of every imaginable colour.
On Monday, August 16th, members and friends of the Townley Hall Society gathered at Foldridge Moorings for their summer meeting. Then it was all aboard the cruise ship Martin Emperor for a relaxing cruise to Barnoldswick and back. En route we passed the old lime kilns, which were built to provide material for the building of this part of the Leeds and Liverpool Canal, which at 141 miles long is the longest in the country and was opened in 1816. As we pass through the tranquil rural scene at a leisurely 5 miles per hour, we get a different perspective to the one we normally observe from the roads. To the right is part of the old railway bridge, which carried rail traffic between Colne and Skipton from 1848 until 1970. Apart from boating, the towpath is extensively used by walkers, fishermen, and as we saw earlier, the canoeing club. On the return leg, a pie and peas supper was served, which could be washed down with drinks from the well-stocked bar in lieu of, or as well as, tea and coffee.
The top end of Ormerod Street was bustling with colour on the morning of Sunday the 15th of August this year. The spectacle of the Mardi Gras had come to Burnley. Our enthusiastic mayor seemed as thrilled about the parade as the people taking part.
Some of the floats are absolutely brilliant, loads of hard work.
The day was very humid and sticky, and our mayor was a little bit worried.
Big black clouds up there.
The procession set off to make its way down Todmorden Road and a circular tour around the town centre. Burnley police officers took a very active part, parading an impressive jail-like float, also giving out goodies and balloons. It really was a spectacular affair, and our mayor and mayoress enjoyed every minute. As the parade made its way down Lyndhurst Road, a few spots of rain could be felt, but the enthusiasm of everyone seemed to force away anything other than a light shower. It's certainly congratulations to all concerned for a very successful and well-organised event. The end of the route came all too soon for those happy smiling faces as the procession turned back into Todmorden Road, its destination. Despite thoughts to the contrary, our summer this year has not been that bad. I can recall enjoying 6 or 7 consecutive very hot Sunday barbecues around May and June. Now, following on from last Sunday's Mardi Gras, the 22nd of August was a scorcher. And on this day, Queen's Park was the venue for what must have been one of Burnley's biggest events of the year. The Reach 2 festival was undoubtedly a great success. The hottest day of the year had brought together communities from all walks and cultures living in and around Burnley, which of course was its intention. The organisers had to be up early getting things set up. This was a massive event, and a great gamble had been taken on the weather, and it paid off. There would be something here for everybody, arts and crafts and music, and all food tastes had been catered for, and even the army were here. I think it's time for a well-earned brew. There was music for everyone with 3 sound stages, this being the biggest, where many artists performed. Those interested in the latest fashion were also catered for. The event was organised by Burnley Borough Council, Better Burnley, A New View, Fun Car, Burnley College, MPA, Mid-Pennine Arts, Burnley Community Network and East Lancashire, bringing communities together. We spoke to Lynn Fishwick from Burnley College, one of the main organisers of the event.
Well, it started last year with Reach 1, and it came about initially through 2 things that were happening. A project that the college had got, which was ESF funded, and also the council were looking at running a mailer, trying to bring communities together. So the project the college had was, the emphasis was to try to bring communities together, to share cultures, to appreciate each other's cultures, to have a look at different kinds of things that were going on within cultures and try and just bring them together. So the idea is it's a family day and the emphasis is on free activities, joining in, having fun. So that was last year. This year we all got together again and said, are we going to do it again? Well, after last year I said no, we're not, because it's chaos, but we are doing it. We've done it again, obviously, and again we've done it in conjunction with Burnley Borough Council, Mid-Pennine Arts, because there's 2 stages on as well, so a lot of that has come through them. Burnley Community Networks has joined in, other community organisations are here from all over the town, and East Lancs Together have also helped with some sponsorship money.
Burnley is quite well known for its Woods Festival, and some very impressive sculptures were on show. In the arts and crafts tent, children were having a go at all the different skills. We spoke to Sylvia Griffiths about a large unfinished tapestry.
Well, the ladies of age concerned working with Burnley College have started or are in the progress of doing this mural or wall hanging. It's called Yadin, or Memories of the village that perhaps they came from, or things they remember from visits. It's taken at least a term of 2-hour classes plus extra, which we filled in whenever we could. So it's all done in various methods of embroidery, which are new to them.
Multicultural fashion show. So we have clothes from a mixture of student work and local shops.
Well, this is my first time I'm getting involved. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a bit nervous, but I think it'll be okay. Once the girls start screaming at us, it'll be okay. Basically, just modern, clothing and for women and men, and just community, just show them off today, basically.
I want to do an exhibition and make everybody aware of what we do in Burnley for netball and sport in general and young children. Oh, but we've been, as Burnley Netball, we've been together for at least 10 years now. We run the league on Tuesday nights, the Ladies' League, with 40 teams in that. And then from that we decided to, because with children of our own, we decided there wasn't anything for girls to do, so we started with the junior netball.
We're just demonstrating the rules of netball and how to play it. Just showing ball skills and having a match. We play about to show people how to play netball and.
They're trying to put like a go-kart together, and I'm secretly hoping that if you can see, there's one white lad, there's two Asians there. I'm trying to promote a team of all three of them working together, and as you can see, they're doing good. And I'm giving a picture so they can have a look at it, and if they put it together, if they can work together, that's good. If they complete it, that's brilliant, and if it works, that's excellent, and we'll give them a medal and a hat. So that
The festival started on Friday night with live music at various venues around the town, and this 6-hour extravaganza capped off a very successful weekend.
Saturday, the 2nd of October, saw a celebrity charity fashion show held at Borden Mill to raise funds for Pendleside Hospice.
If you're still timing for that winter sun, we've got everything you need for a quick escape. Suitcases, travel bags, passport holders and even sunglasses. If you're not lucky enough to be escaping from winter sun, then we've got umbrellas, woolly hats and sledges.
Right about now, the funk soul brother, check it out now, the funk soul brother, right about now, the funk soul brother. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Let's go. Call me on the phone. I feel like nothing's going on. Driving in my car. I pretend that you don't turn away.
The ever popular Woodland Festival was held in Townley Park on the 10th of October. As always, it was well supported. In addition to the usual craft exhibits, there were free donkey rides and Punch and Judy shows to entertain the young.
From Burnley. Oh, I think he's really handsome. I'm going to give Mr. Punch a kiss. And when I give him a kiss, I don't want to hear you children laughing.
Second away, round 1. End of round 1.
split it. And to do that, we just get the blade between into the wood, and then use it as a lever. I'm not cutting with it.
I'm just rive at it. It'll break out one way or the other. You know, it won't go all the way down. I just have to control that tension. And there, it's gone to one side, so I'll turn it round. But it's gone over a bit too much for me to push it. I can actually use my wrist the other way, but it goes a bit too far. You need to get a good grip. That's back in the middle. Then, and as I was saying, this is goes about 1,000, and it's so big and so long. The extent of it is such that the people that know about these things say that there's yeah.
We do hope you've enjoyed our show, and don't forget, if you've got any events which you think will be newsworthy, please do let us know.
Well, that's it, folks. Hope to see you again next year.
So it's good night from me.
And good night from me.